And all directors and all staff sit behind the country. All directors of the positions, all staff sit behind the
Yeah, we'll have that night out.
Okay. All right, let's settle down. Let's settle down, please. Let's settle down. So, this is a general council meeting. This is a normal practice here in KMC. I just want, since for the first time we have such public interest, I just want to lay some of the ground rules. In a general council meeting, only councillors are allowed to speak unless I, the mayor, invite a guest speaker to speak. So members of the press are not allowed to ask questions until the meeting is concluded, and maybe a press conference and some questions can be taken after. But during the General Council, members who are here are the only ones allowed to speak, and this is the councillors. The rules have always applied for the directors and any guests that are invited, but it is very normal that members of the press are also invited to General Council meetings to observe and also to see what the council is discussing. Now, these are the ground rules. I'm going to start the General Council with prayers. Unfortunately, there's no pre-arranged agenda because this is an emergency General Council call because of the events that occurred this morning. So I would like to open the session with prayers. All right, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Honorable councillors, directors, members of the press, guests here, we have called this General Council meeting today as an emergency General Council because at exactly 7 a.m. this morning, I came to work as usual, and I found 2 pickup trucks full of paramilitary officers here at our door. I did my normal salute with my municipal police officers, and I asked the Commissioner of Police what is the meaning of this and why are the police intervention unit here in their tactical gear. And he told me, according to the commander in charge, they have received executive directives to forcefully install the CEO in her office. And I think this is what has prompted the General Council meeting and has prompted many guests to visit us today to ascertain the facts and find out exactly what is going on. Before I pass the floor to the General Council for discussion and debate, I have a few important guests that I would like to introduce who would also like to give short speeches of advice and guidance to the General Council. With us here, we have the Gambia Bar Association President, Mr. Salim Tal. We also have here the President of Tango, which is the Association of all NGOs in the Gambia, Mr. John Charles Njai. We have here our very own President, the Gambia Association of Local Government Authorities President, and the Chairman of Mansakonko Area Council, Mr. Landing B. Sane, and the Vice Chairman of the Gambia Association of Local Government Authorities, and the Chairman of the Basse Area Council, Mr. Fode Danyu. We also have the President of the Staff Welfare Association, Mr. Modu Jai, who was recently elected in the Congress on Sunday. So these are the guests we have here, citizens of Gambia and citizens who are concerned with what they have seen and would like to talk to all parties. Therefore, without further ado, I invite the President of Galga, Mr. Landing B. Sane, to address the Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. First, let me thank our Lord Mayor Talib Ahmad Bensouda, for giving us this opportunity to make a statement here on behalf of the family of local government authorities of this country, the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you warm greetings from the Association of Local Government Authorities of the Gambia, GALGA, and I also say Assalamu alaikum, peaceful greetings in Islam to all of you. We know we are compelled, probably in that word I can mention, to meet here this afternoon based on the prevailing circumstances or issues that are unfolding. And this is no news to all of us. But in particular, that happened this morning. My mission here with my team is basically linked to the issues that are happening at KMC these days, precisely linking it up to the corruption scandal that involved the CEO and some other staff, in which case the ministry and the council are also at probably at a deadlock on some administrative matters or procedural issues. We are here this morning because we heard of the latest development that involved security forces coming to the council. That actually hastened our coming here, and that also prompted us to address this meeting. But behind doors or behind, we have been working with all the parties involved, of course, including the CEO the Lord Mayor, and also the ministry on how we bring the tension down and have procedures, processes, and also the law take its right course in addressing the matter, without, of course, giving unnecessary ping-pong either on the social media or on other media. We have been conducting those processes with the parties involved. But this address to you this morning, this afternoon, is basically to seek from all of us that we exercise patience, that we display total decorum to make sure that there is no further, probably, if I could say, violence or whatever that may be linked to such, that may not be in line with the law or with the administrative powers that are given to all of us. We are all citizens of this country, and in particular, we are all from KMC. I'm referring now to the councils. Let me assure you that we are working with all of you. We are not taking side to say who does what is right or who does what is wrong. But we are taking responsibility to work with all of us as a family to make sure that we amicably go through the processes that are required to come to the very end of this peacefully. So I ask all of us to assume our responsibilities responsibly and make sure that we exercise it within the confines of the powers and the law that protect all of us. This is what we have been telling all the parties involved. Our interest is that when there are problems within the family, we reconvene and deal with the issues maturely, in line with the law and also in line with the procedures. This issue is not an issue that cannot be addressed, particularly within the ministry. I have the belief that we have the capacity, we have the wherewithal, and the will should be there for us to look at each other on the face and address each other and address the issue maturely. Of course, unfortunately, we had a scenario this morning, and we will not overlook it. But we will take it as another occurrence to see how we address the situation so that it doesn't go out of hand. Because otherwise, if it goes out of hand, that may not be to the interest of any of us. We have a country to build, and we have a country that all of us should have interest to make sure is secure and is also protected for today and for tomorrow. So that is the spirit of which I am sitting here with my team to talk to all of us to make sure that we keep the peace and we treat the matter maturely. We will use the same opportunity to talk to other parties involved, our own ministry and the CEO also as well, to make sure that we do not miss or malhandle this situation that may go wrong for the interest of this country. So on that note, I want to thank you very much for your kind attention. I wish we all have, we all consume this information well, and we act appropriately for the interest of our municipality and for the interest of our country. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, President of Ganga, Mr. Nandini. I believe he wants to take his leave to go to the ministry. I will now pass the floor to the Gambia Bar Association President, Mr. Sali Kal, who can be set up here at the podium.
Good afternoon, Lord Mayor. Good afternoon, councillors. Good afternoon, members of the press. Good afternoon, my colleague John, and all members here present. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Lord Mayor for inviting us to speak to the council today on a matter of national importance. Let me say that this morning I woke up to the news that there were paramilitary or PIU police at the KMC, purportedly on the instructions, purportedly I would say, on the instructions of the executive on a matter that was being dealt with by the competent authorities, that is the KMC internally and the Ministry of Interior. As the president of the bar and a member of civil society, I took it upon myself to engage my colleague, John Charles Ndai, as head of Tango. I also call upon the Minister of Justice. I also call upon the Minister of Finance. So, in line with our duty as civil society, we thought it important to get all the facts, ascertain facts and information, and do our utmost to contribute to resolving the process in the interest of ensuring accountability, respect for rule of law, and good governance. Our first protocol was to the minister in the morning, and he, on short notice, he gave us audience. And in our engagement with the minister, we raised the issue of PIU, primarily our issues, and he informed us that it was not his instruction or the executive's instructions to deploy PIU. Notwithstanding, we reminded and advised the minister that whatever dispute there may be in terms of who has what power between the KMC, the Public Service Commission, and the Council, that matter should be resolved in accordance with law and due process. And for us, that is our concern. He informed us that they will continue to engage KMC on the basis of the powers vested in them under the Local Government Act. We left the minister's office and came to visit the mayor and council. We also reiterated our concerns. Thankfully, when we came, we did not find any PIU because of the sigh of relief. We gathered that the tension has escalated. So we also expressed our concerns that we as civil society, we have been keenly following this issue. But we cannot make any comments or discuss the issue until we have all the facts and information. But all the facts that are in the public domain, we are actually seized of these facts and we will listen to them. So we also sought the views and perspective of the mayor, and he gave us a very detailed explanation of his position and the council position, and also provided us with documentation, and also gave us said maybe perhaps we should extend an invitation for us to address the council. So for us, it's a privilege and an honor. I think it's probably the first time that happened. And I think it is also a testimony to where we are as a country in our democracy. Here we have a council meeting invited to talk to the council, and you have the press here present. I think these are all positive steps for democracy. In a democracy, especially moving from a dictatorship and transitioning to a movement democracy, we are going to have differences. Even how you interpret the law, there are differences. It is not up to me to say who is right or wrong under the law, because that is the job of the court. But I would like to appeal to all parties, that is the ministry, the council, and the mayor, in resolving differences and disputes, to do so with decorum and respect and in accordance. And I think that is what we expect in the Gambia. That is why we are even standing here having this discussion. In the Gambia before, this discussion would not happen. In the Gambia before, the BIU would have taken over KMC. But I think the fact that cool heads have prevailed and all parties are guided by the wisdom and conscience and simply it is the Gambian people to look at the issues with objectivity and advise accordingly and be guided by them. All parties involved must be accorded due process on all sides. The inspectors have a right to come and inspect, and in doing so, they must also do so in a confidential way. The aggrieved parties also have a right to be interviewed and given access for the purpose of interview. And the aggrieved parties, on all sides, anybody who believes that perhaps your rights are violated, there's a place to go to resolve that dispute. That is the court. So I'm not advising that anybody should go to court or not. I'm just saying that when we have our disputes in a democracy, we don't use the force of the law, the brute force to resolve our disputes. We use our good conscience and use the law. I think what I've seen I like, because when I came here, the police did not force themselves to go in. I think after the conversation ensued from my information, they backed down, and I guess they were learning experience. When we spoke to the executive, they informed us, in good faith, I believe, that they did not give instructions. So that means that that's what they told us. And today, the mayor and his team have given us information that they have. And I believe that we will continue with your investigation, looking at all facts in passion, and then hopefully, in the process, we ensure that there's accountability, there's due process, and there's proposal. Whatever the outcome of the process, I think all parties will respect. I really thank you all for giving me this opportunity. I think in democracy, we must continue to talk and iron out our differences with civility and decorum respect. On that note, I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shalifa. I now invite you to go to the President of Nambu, Mr. John Charles. Lord Mayor, Honorable Councils, President of the Gambia Bar Association, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I walked into this place and the first thing that was on my mind is that Gambia is really moving forward. Maybe at a slow pace, but we are moving forward. And that is evidenced by the presence of all these people representing the media. I told my colleague that we have a very dynamic media. Sometimes we are so negative and so harsh on ourselves. But democracy is a difficult and a messy process. And Gambians, we must be a little more patient if our democracy is going to work for us. Let me
first and foremost, commend the municipality, because I am a resident of this municipality and I see the change. I see the dynamism of this leadership, and you must be commended and saluted for the good work you are doing. We know more can be done, and we as citizens of and residents of this municipality must make sure we do what is right by us so that you could do your work. So kudos to you for a job well done. The fight against corruption must be a fight that every Gambian must take seriously. And as civil society, we stand with anyone and anybody and any organization or any group that stands to fight against corruption. Corruption must not be encouraged in any way and in any form. Our position is, and all this time we have been having internal discussions amongst ourselves, let's ensure that the rule of law is followed to the letter. Let us ensure that we know the facts, what does the law say, and then we can move forward in advocating that the right thing is done. As the president of the Bar Association has said, we have the law on our side. We are no longer under tyranny, and if we as Gambians have defeated tyranny, then that shows our resilience as a people, and we can defeat corruption in this country. As far as the investigations are concerned, we want to appeal to every party to ensure that they comply with the investigations. Let due process take its rightful course. Let every party have cause for redress. And indeed, together, we will be able to move forward as a nation. As civil society, we stand to again reiterate our call that we must look again into our laws and ensure that our laws are working for the people. The decentralization of municipal councils, the local government authority, I think it's high time we begin to have a serious national discourse on the decentralization process that was underway some years ago. We must begin to look at this again so that we will be able to avoid these sorts of conflicts between the municipal government and the national government. We as a people and we as civil society stand with you as a municipality, stand with the nation, and stand to complement the efforts of government to ensure that good governance, the rule of law, is what we as a nation can be proud of. With this, ladies and gentlemen, Lord Mayor, thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to council and to speak to the nation. This is a difficult year, but Gambians, we can work together and make the best for our country. Political divisions must not cause a national division. We could be diversified in our ideas, in our political affiliations, but we are still one people and we have one nation. Let's not destroy what is working and has been working for us, our peace and our unity. Let's work together as one people. Just like you have a council of diverse people from diverse political persuasions, from diverse religious and ethnic considerations, but you work together to ensure that the municipality works for us and is moving forward. So I call on Gambians, let's work together. Our differences should not divide us. They should complement each other and make us a better people and a better nation. We wish you well, and we are following the developments, and as civil society, we will always speak when we have to speak. God bless you, God bless the municipality, and God bless our beautiful country, the Republic of the Gambia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. We will now invite You may take your leave. I understand. Thank you, sir. We now invite the President of the Staff Association, the Staff Welfare Association, Mr. Manager.
The Lord Mayor, KMC Municipal Council, Deputy Mayors, Honorable Councillors here present, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the KMC Municipal Council, Directors here present, members of the press, clerk of council, staff of council, members of the public, good afternoon to you all. It is disheartening to say that since the inception or the beginning of this crisis, staffs of the KMC Municipal Council has been mentioned on several occasions. We have never and ever responded to any word in relation to our names being mentioned. Today, as staffs of council, we reported this morning, we saw 2 PIU pickups with their officers in their full gears. Having realized that as the president of the KMC Staff Welfare Association, I called for an emergency meeting with my executive. Purpose being that we are entrusted with the responsibility of the staff of this council. Having had a short meeting, we all concluded to go on a sit-down strike based on certain reasons. One is that our lives are in danger, and we believe that whichever authority should have sent the PIU officers to the KMC Municipal Council should have used another means or mechanism as stated by the Local Government Act to proceed with the council's decision by not receiving their decision and not to send the PIU officers to the council. 2, during our annual congress or the congress held on Saturday, though the treasurer of the outgoing committee of the Staff Welfare Association was not present, there were financial statements that were presented before us, and is in relation to the $12 million loan being acquired in the name of the staff welfare. And at this juncture, I want to make this point very clear, that this $12 million loan was never, and I repeat, was never acquired in the name of the KMC Staff Welfare Association. Reason being, there are procedures clearly stated in the KMC Staff Welfare Association's constitution when the committee or the executive or the members should go for loan acquisition. This was never done. It was never followed. And out of a 14 or 15-man member committee, it was only 3 people by the names Mr. Bakari Jao, Mr. Mamkaba Bass, the vice president, and the treasurer, who knew that they were working on loan transactions on behalf of the KMC staff welfare without their prior knowledge. So our position as staffs, we are saying that these loans were never and ever acquired in our names. According to the financial statement being received from the Finance Department of Council, that since 2014 to date, the total amount transferred in our account amounts to 9 million plus. As of May 31st, the total amount in our account is 17,000 plus, which is very disheartening. Again, there are laws, or there are clauses in the constitution of the KMC Staff Welfare Association, which clearly indicate who and who is entitled to a loan. We have seen from the bank statements that the Chief Executive Officer have acquired a loan of $50,000 from the KMC welfare account, 25,000 from Ajin and 25,000 from Trust Fund. And her total contribution since she joined the council is $700. It's very disheartening to say that those who were paying or contributing or being deducted from their salaries from the past 10, 20 years have never enjoyed $1,000 in loan. Very disheartening. Our position as staffs, we are saying the General Council resolution that was unanimously passed was passed in the interest and safeguard of the staffs of council and nothing else. Our position is, let the CEO and co go back to the air and clear that this loan was never and ever acquired in our names. 1. 2. The loan that was given to her and is not being serviced be paid back. And to be honest, the hard fact is the staffs of council have lost total confidence. I mean total confidence in working with the Chief Executive Officer. The reason being, 1, our names were submitted to the bank, 37 senior staffs of these councils, without their consent. Their monthly salaries were given to the bank. Monthly deductions, they are given to the bank, without their consent. And out of these 37 staffs, 3 of them are no longer with the council. 1 by the name Ilimanka, Fatima Hassaho, and Ibrahim Fofana. So on that note, we are making our position very clear that we have lost total confidence in working with her. Our monies will be paid. The incoming committee will sit very soon and write to the external auditors to come and audit, and we will also write to the outgoing committee to do their handing over immediately. We will apologize for any inconveniences that have been caused today, but it's due to the fact that we are citizens of this KMC and we want the good name of council to continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ndiaye, President or new President of the Staff Welfare Association. I understand the former Minister of Interior, Mr. Ahmed Fati, is around. I wanted to say a few words of wisdom to the council. But until his arrival, I want to ask the matter to the floor for discussion, and also to urge the staff to return to work by working, to return to work and serve the people of care. Alright, so is Mr. Mike Ahmed Fati here or is not here? Alright, then I will now pass the matter to the floor on the issue of the PIU arriving in the offices this morning. Councillor Brown.
Thank you very much, Mark. Good afternoon,
Members of the press, you will find it very difficult to move the mic around because you will keep going from one. So I think you want to keep a distance. Or maybe for this special occasion.
Okay, thank you very much. My fellow council present here. I think this is very unusual because every general council needs to have an agenda. That's what we work on. But this one is the special general council. And then this general council has been called proposally for this issue that has been discussed by the new president of the Staff Association. And then as for my own side, I'm very much disappointed because I believe our own resolutions, like the council resolution, when we have the general council meeting here, this issue came up here, we all agreed that we have to pass a resolution that the CEO should be suspended with the board, the final director, and the board of staff that have been involved in this matter. But now I think everything has been clear to all of us What we have seen and what we have the president have just mentioned here is very, very disheartening. When you look at these staff here, there are the prison service staff. How much are they receiving for their salaries? These salaries have been deducted and deposited in their account. At the end of the day, when they're going to find out and when they went to the account to find out how much is left there, they have only $17,000 out of $9 million. Only few people are benefiting from this fund. And the seal has just come. Our monthly contributions now total amount of 700. Now you went down to loan of 50,000. So what I'm saying here is our decisions have to be respected. What has happened here in the morning is what is happening. I was on my bed when I received call from the premier that councillors have to come because the time we need to support to see it. And is this what we are looking for? Is that what we call the new democracy or new Gambia? Is that what we are fighting for? Is that what we have voted for? No. I think corruption should be something that should be discouraged. When we came to this country, we have seen what has happened. For past 2 years or 50 years, something that has never been happening in the council. That's what we, the councillors and the government, have done. If you go to the market developments, you look at our markets. You look at our money project. You look at the number of staff that have been working here. And we came here, we found some staff are receiving less than 1,500. But today, the minimum salary of the staff there is about $3,000. Definitely we have done very well. I think our efforts will be complimented, but we don't expect something to happen. What has happened here today to put KMC on the seat? Look at, there's no work on the KMC today. There's the markets and the valley project, they are all parked here. The trucks are parked. They are just on the weekends. And the people's rubbish are with them at home. People are calling all over. I think our decisions must be respected as councillors. We are here representing 500,000 residents of KMC. That's why we are representing. We are the voice up for their taxes they have been paid. We should not allow people to come here and try to mishandle those funds for their own selfish interest. We said no corruption and we always have to stand by that and then make sure that we are understanding these staff. These staff are here. We pass the solution. We order them to do anything they do. So when certain has come, we also have to stand by them to make sure that certain should come in the council here. And we are saying no corruption. And if we see what and the for them to come here, when we are having the same days, if you send our decision, it's better we the councillors will decide and go back and tell our people that the job you have given to us, we want to do it. Let the minister. There are people within us. You have a lot of service commissions. Our resolution has come to all these people. Why we are not taking the sponsors from the local service commission instead of the minister? Why there's special this special for them? Therefore, for somebody on earth that is not saying that they have lose confidence in him or her, they cannot work with them. So I think they should do something else instead of trying to force this group of us. And that's not be allowed. We are going to stand by our decision, we are going to stand by our resolution, and we are going to stand by you people as a staff. Thank you very much.
Just a point of correction, the Director of Finance did not come here. We have no report of the Director of Finance here. I will now invite the former Minister of Interior, Mayam Party, to address the floor, and if he wishes, he will give afterwards. Honorable.
Lord Mayor, KMC, councillors, respected citizens of KMC, all the government, good afternoon to you all. I am here this early afternoon at my own choice and my own volition, almost as a key stakeholder and a resident of KMC and among the leaders of the country. I am here in order to express my support for the residents of KMC, for the Lord Mayor and the councillors. I have a stake in what is happening here. As I said, I am president. But I also have another obligation, which is I'm among the political leaders of this country. I believe that it is a failure of governance which is responsible for what we experience today. But it has been a process which culminated in what happened today. We have observed very keenly the tremendous transformation that took place within KMC over the past 5 years under the eminent leadership of His Lordship, Mayor Khalid Bensouda. One of the youngest brilliant minds in this country, working together with a dedicated team to change the lives of tens of thousands of Gambians. Because KMC represents the country. I am from URR, Willie West, and you have people from every nook and cranny in the country resident in KMC. So what happens in KMC is a national matter. What is happening today is of fundamental national significance. And so a resolution and a decision made by the Lord Mayor of KMC in conjunction with the General Council is a decision made by tens of thousands of the residents of KMC. You have a mandate, you have an obligation to represent the best interest of tens of thousands of residents of KMC. That is why we are elected. The government has a mandate. But the devolution of power, as clearly stated in the Local Government Act, there are provisions, legal provisions, there are administrative procedures and processes that could effectively handle this apparent fiasco. But when politics supersedes national interest, it's myopia that triumphs over vision. And that is why today it is important for every well-meaning Gambian to come here and stand with the people of KMC. This is not a partisan conflict between Party A and Party B. This is a neutral ground where all political interests are represented among the residents of KMC. So, Lord Mayor, I'm here to express solidarity with the people of KMC and all the humongous development gains that we are getting. And the crux of this matter is corruption, allegations of corruption. We must tackle corruption at its root. When there are significant allegations against any public officer, not only law, but morality demands that you recuse yourself from the seat, from the environment, in order to allow an impartial atmosphere that will enable investigators to reach a conclusion that is fair and just to all parties concerned. That was what I recommended when I was accused of bribery allegations in the case of Similex. I recommended an extensive investigation, never in the history of this country, in order to determine my culpability, because I was confident that I am innocent of every iota of allegation. So I believe that if you are enmeshed in an allegation as grave as this matter, the government should be the first to support an impartial inquiry. And the government should be the first to follow due process. And I believe the process is unveiled here through the Council of General Council on the leadership of the Mayor. It's one that is reasonable, that is logical, and is one that should be accepted. I believe that the Local Government Act should be followed. There are relevant provisions. I am not here to advise legally, but then I believe that the ministry should advise attention to the law. I would recommend both sides exercise restraint. I do not think it is necessary to send law enforcement agents here. There is no conflict, there is no war, there is no demonstration, there is no threat to peace at KMC or at the municipality. As former Minister of Interior, I am extremely concerned about sending law enforcement agencies in situations which are not warranted. And I believe that KMC councillors have demonstrated themselves the best of manner in accordance with the law. I would urge the ministry to allow fair investigations to proceed, and I would crave the indulgence of the officers employed to stay away until investigations are fully completed. That is what will serve the interest of the Gambia and will serve the interest of KMC. All of us public officials, including the mayor, and I commend the mayor's fight against corruption, the council, and I support his stand to fight against official corruption. The taxpayers' money belongs to the taxpayers. The management of the funds and the resources of KMC must be in consonance with the overriding interest of the residents of KMC. And it is the obligation of mayor and council to ensure this happens. And I think due process is there, and we should continue to consolidate that due process. This is when we consolidate the affairs of democracy. So, Lord Mayor, here, what we have to offer is one of support, one of solidarity for the residents of KMC. And we crave indulgence of the Minister of Local Government to choose the path of dialogue, to choose the path of administrative justice, to choose the instruments of governance that will resolve this petty problem. In conclusion, I would urge the ministry once more again to convene a meeting that will include all stakeholders in order to find a solution to this, but more so, not to engage in any action that will threaten the security of this country. Thousands and thousands of Gambians are worried today because they have seen the paramilitary, something that reminds us of 22 years of dictatorship. So in consolidating our democracy, we should resort to state institutions and to instruments of governance that will resolve inevitable conflicts that will always arise in the process of governing the country. We do not see any huge problem here. What we see perhaps is some flare of ego, for lack of a better diplomatic word, and I think in public interest, ego is not something that should suffer. So I urge KMC to continue on the path of law and principle and administrative justice. And I urge the state not to overreach its hand. This can be resolved peacefully. There are laws in this country and there are procedures that will be followed. And when we follow these procedures with these laws, administrative justice will take place. And the interest of KMC residents, including my personal interest as a KMC resident, will be secured. For now, we are with the people of KMC, and we support that the interest and the resources of KMC must be protected as passed in the resolution of the General Council and implemented by the Lord Mayor. Keep it up. Best of luck. We will watch, not only watch, we will be involved in making sure the right thing is done. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Honorable Mayor Ahmad. We now allow them to leave. So I will allow the Council of Baptist.
Good afternoon, Lord Mayor, and thank you for giving me the floor. Good afternoon to my fellow councillors, the media analysts here present. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the President of the Gambia Bar Association, who just left, and also the representative from Sambo, and also KMC, led by the Chairman Minister. Also the former Interior Minister who just left. We acknowledge their presence and performances solidarity with the council. Today, we've seen history of the drama that happened within the municipality, especially at KMC. Something happens that we never dreamed of or expected to happen. That is the president of the PIU within the municipality or within the country. We fought for this together and said never again. But we see the repetition happening now. The PIU officers present in the KMC today came as a surprise to the General Council. I think the ministry and the minister have not exhausted their avenues to interact or engage the council still to find a meaningful solution to this ongoing problem. We are not saying that the minister or the investigation team from the ministry are not entering the council. They are most welcome. We welcome them with an open hand. But the staff that are on suspension or on leave should not be forcefully brought to the council. We say, let the investigators come. Whenever they need those staff for questioning or for any other thing to clarify, they can be called for. But they cannot forcefully bring those staff in the council. This is a General Council resolution, and they cannot go against that. And I am standing here to represent the community of Bangode, and I will still stand by that resolution that these people should not step their feet in the council without the authority or the mandate of the General Council. My advice to the security officers is to be extra careful. We've seen a drama register. They said they are here on an executive order, and they came without any vision document. They came without any communication to the authorities here at the council. Now the minister and the ministry said they are not even aware of their presence here. So I am pushing another TRC happening. Let them be extra careful. Let them not be used by service politicians who are just using them or forcing them to do what is not even online. But because of their interest, political gain, they should abstain themselves from such. We here as council, we are representing the entire community of this municipality. This decision we take is not partisan or political. It was unanimously taken by the General Council, and all the councillors are here. Whosoever have any objection to this resolution that we passed as a councillor, I think we should come back to this General Council here and say, I voted for this decision, but now I understand something else is happening. Not to say what we have not discussed in this General Council here. This is a decision that we all agree, and if you have anything against that decision or your own decision, I think you can come back to me. You personally can inform the mayor and call for the General Council. So the minister also doesn't place his avenues. I think he still have the right. The mayor is here. The local government are giving the power to call for a General Council meeting. He can come and sit here, have discussion with the councillors. Then on that day, he will be the chair of the meeting, not the mayor. The mayor will be seated down. So I don't know whether they are not reading their books or they are just doing things deliberately. But they have so many opportunities for arms to use in solving this problem. Lord Mayor and my fellow councillors, I still stand firm against any forceful restriction of these people within the municipality or within the country municipal council. And I will stand firm by the resolution of the General Council that they are on leave and we don't need them here. What has happened here last Saturday during the Staff Welfare Association Congress, where they elected their new executive, we came to realize that these people have even done worse to their own staff than the General Council. Out of their monthly contribution that they've been contributing for the past 8 years, the total amount accumulated to $9.2 million. They only found, I don't know, $17 or $15 million in $15,000 in that account, out of $9 million plus. This is really Islamic. We cannot just allow things to continue. We stand here, the whole Gambia stood at Westwood and sing a slogan, never again, and we are seeing the repetition. Let us stand and strictly stood by that slogan, never again. Thank you, Lord.
Councillors, I would like us to keep our deliberation short. As many of us on the day is long. Just before others speak, because I believe at the very end, I may not have a lot of time. I just wanted to inform you that the ministry has informed us since the 2nd of this month that they were going to send an inspection team. We are yet to receive the inspection team. The inspection team called the Director of Administration today and said they are on the way. This was 2 hours before, and I was hoping that they will come so we will introduce them to the councillors and give them our support, our unreserved support for them to do their inspection. We have here the National Audit Office who audits us every year. We have here our internal audit department, and we want as many inspections as possible to make sure the council is running on sound ground, on the rule of law, on the policies and procedures that we have set out. But for the digestion of the media, I just want to read out the letter they sent us that they are going to inspect the council on. And then I will read you the letter we have sent back. So on the 3rd of August 2021, inspection in respect to fraud allegations of the California Municipal Council. The letter reads, following the purported fraud allegation leveled against the Chief Executive Officer and some staff of Council, I write to inform you that the Ministry will deploy a team of inspectors with the sole purpose of establishing the following: a loan amounting to $12 million to acquire a piece of land measuring 100 by 100, forgery of a letter captioned guarantee purchase of land advance agreement, reference KMC SWA, dated 29 June 2021, salary advance to councillors, renewal of staff contracts, deductions from 186 staff for plots of land allocated to them, solicitation and receipt of a bribe of $30,000 by the CEO from Alma Company. All contracts awarded ongoing and completed, including Ecotech, unilateral stoppage of deductions, staff appointments from July 2020 to date, and during the course of the exercise, the team will be meeting members of the SMT. Our letter dated 5th August 2021, responding to the ministry, titled Re-Inspection in respect of fraud allegation at the California Municipal Council, reads, I write to acknowledge receipt of your letter, reference LNG, etc., and dated 4th August 2021, expressing your ministry's decision to deploy a team of inspectors to establish facts about the above subject matter. In this regard, please be assured that Council's maximum cooperation and support in this undertaking will be given. We look forward to welcoming the team and pray for a proper, meaningful inspection for the good of residents of the California municipality. Yours faithfully, Jani for Road Mayor. So what we are saying here is the council welcomes them, and I think this is the second general council we have called, hoping to meet them and show them our support. We also want to make it very clear, I think one of the councillors said, if at all they need any of the staff sent on leave, we will be more than happy to make them available to the Director of Administration. If at all they need access to any of those said staff's offices or any files which are currently closed, we will make sure they are available, and we will make sure they have full access to all offices and all records of Council. I now pass the floor to the Savage Council. Yes, sir.
to his office, let him just go on.
Well,
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Antumana Bayo, Councillor of Latikunda Statistics. I want to give my best regards to the Lord Mayor and the Deputy CEO, directors here present, and managers, my fellow councillors. Of course, we have nominated councillors among us. So this is an event that many people of this municipality were waiting for, and they are waiting for a clarification. And we want to make sure that everything is clear, because we have been sent by our electorate to come to council here to deliver beyond their expectations. I first want to thank my Lord Mayor for being so humble to his councillors and the entire country. But if there is a problem, a match within this municipality or within his country, what he has to do is to inform the local government service commission that is responsible about those staff affairs, and these are staff that actually they are not our employees. We have agreed on that. But they should also remember that these are staff that are working under the administration and the management and the good guidance of council headed by the Lord Mayor and his entire elected council. And I think the Lord Mayor has taken his stand by inviting the CEO to explain how this matter should come up. Because if you are working under someone and you give him your proposal and the persons look into it and he finally see that this, your proposal, it doesn't match with the financial budget year of that year, I think you should refrain yourself from that arrangement. This is not what he was expecting. Because the person felt that she being employed by local government service commission and then cannot be sacked by the Lord Mayor. The Lord Mayor has never taken such decision. He has forwarded his recommendations of which he is entitled to as a head of country. And he has forwarded his recommendations, of which was the entire decision of the council. I want to quote from the rules of procedure, because you have, in accordance with Section 33 of the Local Government Act 2002, which states that if a member shows disregard for the authority of the chair or abuses the rule of the council by persistently and willfully obstructing the businesses of the council, or otherwise the mayor shall direct the attention of the council to the incident, mentioning by the name the member concerned. I think the mayor has done that. He has already sent his letter to the ministry, copy them, and to the commission, and he also alerts all his councillors that if this matter becomes so necessitated that we should call for an emergency general council for decision, because we don't want
the entire people to see to it that this is what an entire decision of the mayor. No, the mayor is not working alone. He's working with his general council members. So therefore, on the 26th of July, which prompted us to call for an emergency general council meeting to make a decision on behalf of what happened. Because the most mayor doesn't want this municipality to accommodate someone who has against the rules of council. So we therefore of the opinion that such people's matters, if they are sent to the ministry, probably the local government service commission, they should have taken action immediately. But not to say that this person should come to work like a normal person when their hands are not clean. And you should remember, since our Lord Mayor was elected in office, he has a lot of ambition. He has a lot of objectives about how to take this municipality forward. I think directors are here, managers are here, councillors that were here before. You can count them, maybe there are 2 people. That's Suleiman Jame, who is the councillor of Bundung Murtani 6 Junction, and you also have Bajunko. I think Bajunko also was here. So these are senior councils that I just want to show to the general public that the mayor is not alone by thinking of how to make decisions. These 2 people that I have mentioned, these are very good people by guiding him to tell him how this council was moving or was administered. Thank you for their efforts. But still now, I want to appeal to the general public to understand that the issue here today is very difficult for us to handle it without their support. Because why? How can someone be under your employment or under your staff or working with you and you cannot staff it? Because we as council, staffs that are from local government service commission, like CEO, finance director, auditor, just to name a few. These are staffs that are sent to us to work with them. But they shouldn't forget that they are working under the directives and the management of this works, and that is Director who is competently able to manage the affairs of his office and also able to listen to his able councillors that whatever decision before he took it, he will make sure that he talks with those people and he seeks their consent and their approval. So therefore, we want to appeal for an amendment to the National Assembly that staffs that are sent to council, that we have no mandate to sack them. I want them to look into that issue critically. The mayor has done his best by sending his recommendations to those respective departments or ministry to look into this issue. If today we are here and we have seen that the police are here to obstruct the entrance of the CEO whose matter is to be investigated, at least we as country, we are waiting for response to the ministries or inline ministries that we have written our concern to. We haven't received any reply yet. The only reply we have is from the minister himself directly. Of which I feel that we are working under his command and his good guidance and counseling. Our Lord Mayor is well ready to complement government's effort. I just want to give you an example. 2019 COVID, when government has announced state of emergency, Talib Ahmed Bensouda happens to be the first mayor or chairman who was responding to the call of the government by giving out face masks to people. Can you applaud that? We want to tell you that the Lord Mayor is somebody who is working towards complementing government effort. So I want to thank you all for your attendance.
Good afternoon, all. I just want to make some clarification. Okay, my name is this one. Sorry, my name is Jiva. I'm the councillor for Ambo Ward. I think this whole case should not have been done here. We have allegations related to some of our staff. So to me, I think what these people have done better is to know the root cause of this allegation, just to try to establish the facts. We are not finally past the resolution that we give this staff indefinite leave, indefinite suspension. So what is accepted from the ministry is for them to know the facts. What are the allegations related on this staff, but not to forcefully bring them here. We know this is a public institution. We are here for public trust. Every individual has the right to come inside this council. It's their right and not to come inside this council here. No what is going here. Simply because we are here to manage the taxpayers' money. So I think what the ministry will have done better, what the ministry will have done better is for them to establish the facts. Because we say the CEO, the finance director, and the former president of the staff welfare, the vice president, and their treasurer are involved in a fraudulent act man. So I think they should first come and know how this thing happens to forcefully ensure that if you want a transparent thing to happen, transparent information to happen, I think we have to sideline this aside and come to the root cause of it. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, the other thing is a general council resolution. Fine, it's a general council resolution. So I don't think there is any council who is doubting this resolution. What we are saying is the right CEO, although I don't say he has the right to come and work here, but it's also right for him to have to come inside this country because it's a public office. This is what some councils are saying, but not being the she has the right to come and acquire his or her office. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Moses. Thank you very much, Moses. I think I'm very brief and precise. Okay, if you look the whole matter, you will realize that there is a big valuation because as a committee, the establishment appointment committee, because if you look at the section 37 of the Local Government Act, we recommend it to the local government. We recommend to Local Government Service Commission for any okay, all right. Section 37 says establishment appointment committee has to recommend to the Local Government Service Commission for any promotions, any termination for disciplinary. Okay, if you look, we exhaust all these protocols because this is not the first scenario that happened. Last year by this time, after the Tuwaski, there was a one deputy manager was involved on fraud. So we recommend it to the Local Government Service Commission for his termination. And we investigate the matter. And that guy's service was terminated. But what we don't understand the committee and the council, why this issue is so special. The CEO is under the direction and control of council. So we have power. We are answerable to our electorate, our people. So if we send a recommendation as a council, I see no reason why the minister or the PS or a ministry can block that. We directly deal with the Local Government Service Council, which is slightly stated in the Local Government Act. So I don't think we have to spend more time here. The only thing we need to do, our resolution needs to be respected. The people of Minnesota vote are the opinion that the CEO, the finance director, the three executives of the staff association should go to leave till the investigation is clear. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think we're all just going around in circles and literally saying the same thing. And as much as I know we're all very impressed with what has happened, I think it's important that also the people who are watching us also understand that we really set ourselves here. We were voted for by our constituents who make up a population of about 500,000 Gambians, who took time and said that, okay, I elected these individuals to go to KMC and sit there and make laws and also be there for me. So if this General Council or this Honorable Council sits together and says that we do not want these individuals to come to work for this stipulated time until the investigations are over, I think it's a genuine call that we've made. And on Saturday, we sat here when the Staff Association was doing their congress. We, through the Deputy Mayor, told them that the Council will support all of their decisions. This is not a war between the Council and the Minister. This is not a war between the Mayor and the Minister. This is about making sure our institutions are stronger. This is about making sure that the new Gambia that we all voted for is a reality. We cannot continue to say that we have fought a system and still continue to perpetuate that system. That is not what we are here for. If that is the case, I think everybody should just go home and continue what we have been doing. We are not going to sit down and see that this country fails. If they don't care about their future, I am a young person. I do care about my future, and I know a lot of other young Gambians who care about their future. A lot of us sitting in this hall today are very young people. All of this money that we've been talking about, a lot of these staff who have lost thousands and thousands are meager salary earners. They don't earn more than $5,000 a month. If you continue to deduct from those people, and you who is their boss haven't been deducted, and you still have the power to give yourself loans when they haven't even benefited from their money, says a lot about you as an individual. I am not going to sit down and watch when my future is at stake, and I'm sure a lot of young people in this hall and in the country will not do the same. In fact, I think we have taken a long time, and this is not the first, this is not the second, this is the third time that the CEO is coming here, even after we passed the resolution to suspend her. I want to pass a motion that we sue the CEO and make sure that an injunction is put in place that whenever she comes here, she should be charged for trespassing, which is my first motion. The second motion is that I want also for the council to pass a second motion that the minister has disrupted a whole day of activities of the council. We have lost millions, the country has lost millions, and we are going to continue to lose if things like this happen. Mayor and also Chairperson, these are the motions I want to pass, that the minister is also sued for disrupting the work that we have done, and the CEO is also sued for also trespassing. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Good morning, Lord Mayor, the female, and the press. This is just a normal council meeting. I should have stand there and just talk to my fellow councillors. We have a problem. When there is a problem, we try to find a solution. So, and whatever thing you see in this life, you must have to try to at least promote dialogue. So resolutions are passed here, yes. But if the ministry don't want to honor that resolution, we are all Gambians. We need to see eye to eye so that we can talk. You know, although at the same time we also have our legal practitioners, like the lawyers that we have, they can help us. Actually, yes, this is a council. I think whosoever should come here, we should come here to give us a solution. Because at the end of the day, we are representing the entire Gambian people, the entire people of the municipality. So this is not about politics. Yes, I condemn I don't know, the secretary for assigning or ordering the police to come here. Yes, but also on the side of the staff association, definitely as far as I'm concerned and as far as I'm representing the people of Bundu 6001, definitely I'm really disappointed. Because to tell us that you are calling for sit-down strike, because I don't think this issue has to go to that level. Because if you do that, we are denying the people of our municipality. So actually, as far as I'm concerned,
I'm still appealing to the General Council and to our line ministry. Let's try to, solve this issue amicably. Because at the end of the day, as it is going, things will emerge. So many stories will come. Right now, we are talking about the CEO. Other issues are talked about. We don't talk about those things. So, and we are all development workers. Yes, the council is here. Yes. Mayor is doing well. We are also doing well for our communities. But today, we left everything and we are here. People came here, they couldn't do any transaction just because of few individuals. We are not encouraging corruption, but whatever happens, for me, as far as my experience is concerned, yes, I heard about everything about the council part, but the other part of the CEO and the other guys, I don't hear it. So I am appealing to the ministry, let them try to, come up with an investigative panel so that they can come to some conclusion. Based on that conclusion, then we will know. Actually, I know if these people are found wanting, definitely, I don't think they can just defend them. I don't think. So one thing I'm appealing here, let's try to always have dialogue and promote peace. We don't have to take sentiment and emotion to solve problems. And confrontation will also not help us. Because the laws are here, it's the same law. The laws are here, and it's the same law. And if you want to change those laws, you don't just do it by force or by confrontation. We just have to sit and discuss. So on that note, I'm appealing to the council and the mayor, let's try and engage these people amicably, because I don't see any point where in emergency meetings, people are coming here, they are not being served. And definitely, for today, actually, many people came here and I saw them. So I'm appealing to the staff association. This has nothing to do with you guys. I know you are offended. All what you have said, yes, I cannot deny it. But their part also, we need to hear from them. So that we can. But definitely, you guys, you don't have to sit and say you want to call for a sit-down strike. Definitely, I'm really disappointed. And this is just a new executive committee. Why should you go into that? We are not promoting that because if we encourage it today, tomorrow, in other way around, you can also do it. You will do it again. And I don't want us to start a precedent that has never happened in this municipality because this is the first time such thing is happening here. When you talk about over 22 years, things that have never happened are still happening. So it's good that when we are talking, we are here as different political parties are here. There are certain words we are trying to find solutions. You don't have to mention certain things, because when you do it, you are provoking. Because that 22 years, some of us, we were doing great. We add value to the Gambian people. We gave them development. So, and that this is what I have. So, I'm very happy. And please, I'm appealing to the council. Let's just try to be very professional in the way we will take this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's have Farmers Rep. Time has exhausted, so after this I will take one more and then we try and
Thank you, my Lord. Good afternoon, fellow councillors, good afternoon, the directors and the press. Someone once said, I cannot remember who, that in times of universal visit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Someone once said, I cannot remember who, that in times of universal visit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Telling the truth is a revolutionary act. And I believe I stand here to try to embrace that word, to tell the truth. Now, in this society, we have a problem. Developed countries, they are developed because they embrace certain values. They embrace value of truth. They embrace values of honesty, decency. They all come together to beat corruption. Now, the reverse is happening in the Gambia, and this is what is fueling our development. Not only Gambia, but also Sudan, or even Africa, I can say. We praise those who are corrupt, we cherish them, value them, and then deploy or look down on people who are honest. And this is what we have to condemn as a country. When people are alleged of fraud, of crimes, everybody should come together and make sure that the truth is followed. Now, coming back to the statement that the Lord Mayor read here, the letter from the ministry, that they will come here to inspect on the fraudulent act of the CEO. In my humble opinion, I think that is in the act they can come and inspect. But looking at the way it went, in my humble opinion, as it is now, it's not even their mandate to look at that fraudulent accusation. One, my reasons are one. Our letter, the letter resolution from council recommended that these people, recommendation to public service, local government service commission, preceded the petition the ministry wanted to act on. I don't know whether you are following. The letter that we left here, copied to the ministry, so that the local government service commission acts on it. Letter went even before the CEO and his co were invited to the ministry to design their so-called petition. So I am saying, if we want transparency and accountability, which letters we first act on? Because the ministry, they are not there to stand between council and the local government service commission. When they receive letters, they ensure that that letter reaches the intended recipient. That is called the local government service commission. And up to date, as we speak, there has not been any meeting taken by by local government service commission to concerning these accusations. I think what they wanted was to give credence to something that is important to them, not the corruption issue. Because looking at it, I want to quote here the CEO on media, saying that it's a smearing campaign against her because of a leaked audio, audio that she leaked. And this is wrong. It's absolutely wrong looking at the sequence of events. Now, Mayor was first told about this incident on the 9th by a member of the executive they purportedly were serving. That on the 9th, the director of the meeting was immediately summoned. It is where the mayor gathered the full information concerning this thing. Now, immediately after that meeting, a bank was called, the accounts were free. Then the CEO was on trip in Dhaka. When she came, another director meeting was held on the 12th. Where 14 members attended this meeting, where she confessed before all these people. I think the media, your job is to find out who are these 14 and interview them one by one. The truth must be known to the Gambians. These 14 people, they are not working for mayor. They are not working for me, they are not working for council, they are working for taxpayers. In front of 14 people, she said she was sorry. She realized what she did is criminal and she was ready to face the consequences in her own statement. The minutes of that meeting are even available. If the press wants to go for the director of admin, he will give. It's in that meeting that she was asked to resign respectfully. That was on the 12th. The audio, and then she was given up to on the 15th to resign. The audio leaked on the 17th. So it's not the audio that made the council take action on anybody who called Panderi here. Trace the audio. It was Panderi first published the audio. It was on Sunday that he got the audio in his hand and he's trying to get to the deputy mayor. And somebody informed deputy mayor that Panderi has the audio. This was on Sunday. On Monday, he released the audio. So the CEO was supposed to resign 15 days, 2 days prior to the audio leaking. So who can happen is go to media and say, common sense, anybody who says this sequence of events, you know that the smearing, you know what is smearing is. The audio, so because of the audio, we are following this thing. Mayor started the investigation since only 9. People were interviewed. People they claim are part of the list. They said the list of staff, the heading, the letter was list of staff interested in the law. That's 7. Yes, so this is I would have loved to talk more on this, but then time is not on our side. But then let's all gather this trying to invest the truth. You know, the problem we have there when there is issue, we say it's this party or this community but then the issue is this is not Mayor's fight. No one is fighting the CEO. No one is fighting those co-conspirators. What we are fighting is corruption. Corruption is our enemy, not them. Our sole enemy, the society, should be corruption, not any individual. And anybody who takes that path, we should all come together and fight that path. Thank you.
So we want to start closing this session, please. Time is not with us. So I will allow 3 individuals, but please, under 30 seconds, the 2 telling links and the London corner, under 30 seconds, and please we close. Huh? So telling link now.
Good afternoon to you all. Thank you very much for your evening. First of all, I would like to use this opportunity came here early this morning to show solidarity to the council, and that's what was expected with them as far as they are part of this municipality, and the civil society and the governor president and etc. Lord Mayor, this would be a word of advice to the council. As I said in our last general council, this is not your fight. This is not only your fight. This is the entire 19 wards, including even the nominated councillors. And all what those people said here is peace, peace, peace. And then there is an issue that is going on. And I, Councillor Mansali, I am also in the support of the recommendation that we passed here, that the CEO and co to stay at home while we have an investigation to look into their issue. And then I'm also appealing to the ministry. I think they are the first to all these things. I feel that their intervention should have been quick so that all these issues will not happen. Because up to now, since they wrote to us, they haven't received them yet. And then we are highly welcoming them to this council to help us so that we solve these things as soon as possible. And then whosoever is talking about this matter, you know what to say. Say what you know, what you don't know to say. And this is what I'm appealing. And Lord Mayor, as a people representative, and this is the message from the North, this is what they said. And then they are also in solidarity with the issue which is going on. I am also, when I came here every morning, I was not happy. I saw my people standing, I asked them why you people are here. So definitely there are a lot of refugees in our community that they should collect, but they do not. And then I am appealing to the central government to intervene as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me the floor. If corruption is a syndicate in KMC, we will cut it off. Since we came into an office, we sacked 15 staff from council here based on Corruption Act. And then if any councillor stands here today and then says that he does not hear the other side of the story, I'm so much disappointed. Because everything was written in black and white, and then it was read at the General Council here, and then we got the idea. And even on the audios, if you follow the audios that the former CEO was doing, she was saying that she takes this loan on behalf of the staff, and then we all hear that the staff say that they are not aware of it. The reason why the staff say that they are going to sit down and strike because they say that their lives are at risk. That's why they are going to sit down strike. So, and that is for the side of the president and the national. Now, the issue in question, the loan we are talking about 12 million, and we all know our Gambians, if you guarantee anyone, at the end of the day, if that person fails to pay that loan, they have to go to the guarantor. So these people, they use KMC name as a guarantor without the knowledge of the council and then without the knowledge of our land ministry, that is the Ministry of Lands and Regional Government. At the end of the day, if these people default to pay back this loan within 37 months, at the end of the day, taxpayers' money will be at the risk. So I think any council here, you are going to serve the people of KMC. You should make sure and then protect the taxpayers' money. Because if these people default, they are going to take taxpayers' money. That's why we came here, we passed a resolution that these people must go on a leave, pending the outcome of the investigation. So we are still with that resolution. And those police officers that came here, or officers that came here today in the morning, we know them, we know their net numbers. Let them be on watch. Let them, they say to us, never again. The TRC is just concluded, the report is just pending. But we know those PIA officers that reported here, we know their regiment number. Let them be very careful. My last thing on this issue is just to advise the Ministry of Lands, their online ministries. Let them come back here and they engage us. And then we wait for the local government service commission decision. If whatever those people say, we will go by that, but not the line ministry. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes, good afternoon, Lord members of the council, members of the press, citizens of the municipality. I decided not to talk today because it's an unconventional way of conducting council proceedings, like standing before the podium here to address you. But my heart tells me to come and stand before you to try to make you understand the realities on the ground here. What is council standing? As a council, we were acting under the provisions of the law, that is Section 45. Section 45 of the Local Government Act dictates us to write the Local Government Service Commission in the event whereby there is office misconduct, and we are acting under that provision in the issue of the CEO. The precedent was set by the Local Government Service Commission because there were also cases, similar cases here, like some of the councillors have rightly said, and the mayor have also dwelled on that scenario. And in the case of the deputy mayor, it is also the dictates of the Local Government Act, Section 19, and we have also fight very hard here in the General Council to make sure that an independent committee has been established to look into that matter. And the other part, that's the staff welfare. That's another thing which they are also doing their homework here. The minister also claims that he is also acting under the provisions of the law. So, which means there is a conflict here. And the rightful authority or the arbitrator should be the Supreme Court, as opposed to what we have witnessed here today. It reminds me a story that I have read. This happens in America. before the American society was desegregated, there was a black student who was admitted to a university in America, in Mississippi. The racist structure, they denied him entry to the university. But what the system did was they deployed security there in the school to make sure that that black student has acquired his education for a whole semester. That I will call a big win to democracy. But what happened today is this is a democratic institution that the founding fathers have established, which is a local government council, where we come here to represent our communities. We are giving powers to act on matters. And this time around, there is a matter to focus, and we acted accordingly. Now, an invasion from a superior force comes to the council that's an attack to democracy. They would have used the bureaucratic principles of democracy than using force. So this is just what I have to say. So we are in line as a council because we are acting under the dictates of the Constitution. That's the Local Government Act. So thank you very much. Let's not take this to another dimension. You know, I don't want to, just say what, but this is about doing the right thing. We are acting under the provisions of the law as a council. We cannot do nothing more than what we did. So let's just be patient, and which I know we have consulted over here at the council. We will exercise restraint and make sure that the observers, the inspectors, are giving access to whatever document that they have. But we are expecting the Local Government Service Commission not to disregard our claim. They are a competent authority to act. Let them reply to our letter. So that's what we are expecting. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Councillor. And I think we are very happy to see the inspection team. They have just arrived. There is 5 gentlemen, I believe. Is it just this 5? 6? Okay. Okay, there's 6 member team, 5 is around. We would like to assure you are welcome to KMC, and we will give you all the necessary support to conduct your duties and your mandate. You will have full access to all records and all individuals, whether here or on leave. You are under the hospitality of the Director of Administration, who shall provide anything you may need, whether in person or records or offices, and whether they are here or on leave, it will be arranged with the Office of the Director of Administration. We welcome you and Godspeed. Now, if you would like to proceed, Director of Administration, we may start with that. Yes, so you can head with the Director of Administration. Thank you. Yes. No, I don't think that would be important. For their own privacy, they can do it. Yes. All right, I think I want to make a short statement before I move to one of the councillors has said. Yes. Point of observation. Yes. Yes, go ahead.
I think it would be nice to know they look at you themselves identify, but the institution they came from, you need to know this.
Yes, we can handle that away from the media. Yes. Okay. All right. We can handle that away from the media because we know this is a public affair. We don't want members of the inspection team to be a target or anything like that. Okay, we want to support them in their mandate. Okay? All right. I just want to make a few clarifications. First of all, about the police intervention unit. The police are our partners. I think it is important that we note and we remember that. The Gambia Police Force is a partner to the Carnegie Municipal Council. Of course, the incident today is unfortunate. We don't expect that the police we work with will be called on us as a council. However, we will just take it as an anomaly and an error. But we will continue to support the Gambia Police Force. We will continue to work with the Gambia Police Force. And we will continue to trust in the Gambia Police Force. Another issue I want to make clear is that this is not about the mayor or Mayor Bensouda or one party or another party. This is a council. If I am to remember, I as a mayor did not even vote on any of the resolutions. It was the councils. I barely vote. If there is a loggerhead, then I am the tiebreaker. So what I am saying is, I am a member of the council, a part of the council, in support of the council and its recommendations, but I am not the council. So it is very easy for people to say, mayor this, mayor that, but I want that point of clarification. Lastly, I would like to say we are not an adversary to the government, to the Ministry of Local Government, to the Minister of the Lands. We are not. And we are definitely not an enemy or an adversary to the staff members sent on leave. We are not. We are here in service of our people without fear or favor. And it is not personal. It is not our personal palace or our personal properties. We are answerable to the taxpayers of KMC, and it's our mandate to ensure that their monies are accounted for and services are provided for. So I want all councillors to keep calm, to continue to work and serve the people of KM, and I want the staff to continue to serve the people of KM. Today is an unfortunate event, but I want to reassure people of KM that we are not in crisis. The Carnegie municipality is not in crisis, the council is not in crisis, the staff are not in crisis. We think some of these things that have happened today are anomalies in the Local Government Act, where devolution of power has not been given, decentralization is not being implemented, and there's a lot of confusion about what councils are and their powers are. And one of the people said it today, I think it is time. We have been advocating this for 3 years, but I think now it is time for our legislative branch to hear us and the government to hear us and give council the power. You cannot give us responsibility. You cannot hold us accountability if we do not have the power. I said it on the interview the other day. Even if the inspectors come, the people they inspecting is the administrators. I don't know of any councillor who signs checks or mayors who sign checks or agreements. We have not been given the power to implement our ideas. Once they give us those powers, we will be like to be held fully accountable. I think we want those powers so we can deliver to the people. So I want all of us to keep a level-headed mind to make sure that we are back to work and to serve the people. These inspections we will continue to encourage, and we will advocate for more inspections to make sure the councils are on the right track. And on government subventions, we want to appeal to the government. For many years, we've been crying for subventions. We want the subventions to come that will enable us to serve our people better. So without further ado, I think one of the councillors was proposing, I am not going to say to particularly do one legal action or not, but I think as far as all these events have transpired, it is time to engage also our legal team to look at our legal avenues as well, as far as the running of the council. So I think that's what the councillor was proposing. You want to elaborate on that?
Yes, I just want to reiterate what I said. What I said was that I want to move a motion that the CEO is sued for trespassing after engaging indefinitely on the house suspended, which is one. The second one is also sue the minister for the millions that they are supposed to sue for disrupting services that are supposed to be done in the citizens of the
I would like to appeal that we pass the issue to the lawyers to look at what is our legal right and the legal avenues we will take. I don't think any of us here are lawyers, but I would like us to give that power to the lawyers to decide. And I want to say we don't want to take also avenues that may seem that we are combating anybody. But as far as we feel our rights are being tampered with, we can pass this responsibility to the legal team. If you may allow me to amend the motion accordingly. Yes, important.
Yeah, I think that is very important because according to Saluta, when they visited the ministry or their conversation with the minister stated that they are not they don't send the police, and we cannot confirm whether the Minister of Interior or the police IGP is whether they inform or he's the one that that make them to come here. So we have to balance this thing. I think it's good at times when our lawyers, the lawyer will attend our session, so that we will have understandings of the whole event. So maybe next time the clerk office can contact with the lawyer, so that we will be attending our session.
So again, I would like to say I would not like the council to tie its hands on legal matters that we are not privy with. So in order to give flexibility, I think let us just say a motion where we pass the responsibility to the legal team to look at our legal avenues. I think in that way, the legal experts will deal with it. All in favor of a motion to give our lawyers the legal right or the authority to follow this matter also legally, say aye. All against this motion, say nay. Motion is passed. I would like to thank all the councillors present, the members of the public and the media for showing interest in what is happening in their own KMC. And this is what we like to see in every general council, not just the controversial ones. So we welcome you to all our general council meetings to keep abreast with the issues that are discussed here in the municipality. And we like to thank everybody from civil society to Ganga, to Tango, to Gambia Bar Association, and the former Minister of Interior, and all members of the public who have shown their support in these difficult times. I would like us to all end this meeting with prayers, and we pray that this matter is solved amicably. We pray that our relationship with government, our relationship with the ministry is restored and is positive, and we pray that the police continue to support all Gambians regardless of political or political party, tribe, or affiliation. Let's pray.